Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from our Public Works Department, Sustainability Specialist, Phil Grupe. Phil, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you, Jeremy?
I'm living the dream, my friend. Glad to see you back on the show. And we're going to be talking about the spring 2022 Recycling Day event coming up. And it's coming up fast, Saturday, April 9th. Tell us about this annual event.
Yeah, so this is something that we try to put on once or twice a year. It's just an opportunity for the city to help residents dispose of things in a little bit more responsible way than just dumping in your kind of green waste bin. So we're collecting confidential papers that you need to have shredded. Pelletier is helping us out with that. And then Resource Solutions is a company that we've contracted with to bring a couple of trucks to pick up electronics, appliances for recycling.
Why is it important to host these events overall? So when we're just looking at this as a broad picture, I mean, it's a great event first and foremost. I mean, not shocking news there, but there's other benefits to doing this besides what's on the surface.
Sure. So it's important for us to look to find ways to reduce what we're sending to the landfills. We have limited space for solid waste like that, and whatever we can do to divert those waste streams somewhere else, whether it's reuse or recycling, we really want to encourage people to take part in that. By the city participating in this, I think it makes it a lot easier for a lot of individuals who maybe aren't quite sure where to take things themselves, and so being able to create this sort of centralized location for this is a way to help out our residents to participate in something. But also it makes things a lot easier and more accessible for our residents. We're really happy to run these kinds of events and just make things a little bit more efficient and more accessible.
When it comes to just everyday recycling at the carts, does Pelletier keep track of things that shouldn't have been going into recycling? Like, do you get reports, Phil, of like, hey, you know what? We're seeing a lot of TVs being dumped recently, Phil. What do you say?
I don't get regular reports. I do know, once or twice a year, we kind of check in with Pelletier and we find, somewhere between 10 and 15% of what's being put in the recycling bins is not actually recyclable. This is something that I know last year with the Green e-newsletter, I sent out a special edition in June that was specifically about recycling. And it's really difficult to keep this in mind. It feels irresponsible, but the mantra, when in doubt, throw it out, is really a good way to go. If you know something is recyclable, let's recycle it. Let's make sure that's not going to the landfill. But actually throwing things in the recycling bin that shouldn't be costs more time and resources, and it can actually make recycling less cost effective. So really understanding what goes in that cart, what should go in your green landfill or your landfill bin, what can be composted, dropped off at the city's recycling site, or brought to an event like this is really important.
Looking at the electronics specifically, Phil, again, it's kind of the similar question, in fact, but does Pelletier have to sort those recycling items out if they do whether they throw them in the trash or recycling? Like, are they able to pull that stuff out, or because of the time and resources, does it just get passed through and goes in the landfill?
If something that is recyclable is put into your green bin, that's just going to go to the landfill. That's not there's no manual effort put into sorting that out. If something is put in your recycling bin that shouldn't be, that will have to be removed because that can cause various problems with the recycling process.
Yeah, and I think that's important to know, because you might be like, oh, they'll figure it out. It's on them to do that, and definitely not the process there. And we do have a med drop going to be available on this event as well.
Yep, it will be. Yeah, so we have a med drop location at our police department that's accessible when the department's open, but we also really encourage people to bring unused, expired, unwanted medications. And there are instructions we have a flyer that's posted on the city's website. If you search for recycling event, it's the first link that's going to pop up. And there's a flyer link there that describes all of the things that can be brought for the confidential paper shredding, for the electronics and appliance recycling, and then also the med drop.
And specifically on the electronic recycling, Phil, is there some extra costs in disposal of some of the items for recycling?
Yes, some items, especially larger items, or things that maybe take a little bit more effort to recycle. So things like CRT and flat screen monitors, TVs, microwaves, things like that are going to have a small fee associated with them, and that just has to do with both the complexity of recycling and the bulk, the size of these things, and it's just extra weight and effort to get these taken care of.
All right, Phil, anything else we need to know for the big recycling day event?
Like you said, it's going to be Saturday, April 9th. We're going to have it open from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. If you've been hanging on to things, not quite sure what to do with them, but you know they're not usable anymore, this is a great opportunity to come drop them off. Hope to see a lot of people out there participating.
Yeah, you guys do some great work with this, and usually is a pretty good turnout overall. So we'll look forward to continuing to share that event. Phil, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, and we'll check back in with you real soon.
Thanks a lot, Jeremy.
You bet. Again, April 9th, get that on your calendar for the big recycling day event, and we'll keep passing on the information as well. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.